Today we are going to talk about a very important subject, which is how do we leverage on cooperatives to drive climate action solutions, especially for the youth. I have come to appreciate the power of Proverbs in connecting with most cultures across the entire African continent and passing any message, whether simple or complicated, in the most understandable and relatable way. Given the weightiness of the topic we are going to discuss today, I will use 3 proverbs. The first one is, do not set sail on someone else's star. And the second, one cannot live on borrowed salt alone. And last, water that is continuously baked cannot quench the thirst. All these proverbs remind us that to succeed, we must always seek to accomplish what needs to be done, using what we already have in the present, not what we hope someone else can give us or what we hope to get in the future. One of the things that individuals, communities, countries, and even the whole of society strive to have more of is money. What we must always do is, first of all, to start to think of that which we could do with the little money we might get or have as a starting point. Regardless of who we are, most of us must have had these thoughts. But just as there are no shortcuts to the top of the palm tree, there is no easy, quick road to having a bit of money, apart from the tried and tested logic of saving and investing. This logic is simple. Start with what you have. Invest it in competitively offering value that touches many lives and reap a return. An investment, we must understand, is not just about money, but investing time to learn a new skill through what I call skills retooling that can help you turn a climate challenge into an opportunity, especially a socio-economic opportunity, is crucial. This is the key for Africa's fight against climate change, because Africa's vulnerability to climate change is primarily socio-economic, with a gap of about 15 billion each and every year needed for adaptation actions across the entire African continent. Top-down social spending alone might not get us out of the wood. Why do I say so? I say so because we need a bottom-up approach where numerous small investment actions that can be undertaken by the informal sector actors who constitute up to 80% of players in Africa's economy needs to be prioritized. These actions include, for instance, shifting from use of charcoal and firewood to prioritizing fuel briquettes made from agricultural waste. And if this is done, which most youth across the continent are already doing this will redirect the 20 billion expended on charcoal supply chain into sustainable fuel briquettes while protecting our ecosystems to buffer against climate change. And there are other actions in recycling plastic waste into paving ties, actions in turning plastic recovery to fashion and apparel, which is a 30 billion a year industry in Africa, presenting enormous opportunities. So what's the point? Why are we discussing this topic? The reality is that financing this action calls for saving and investing. It calls for saving and investing logic to be leveraged in full. What we know is that across the globe, the structure of cooperatives have been used as an instrument for actualizing this logic. Globally, as we speak today, cooperative enterprises directly employ 250 million people. And when you dovetail that down to the African continent, which we are speaking from today, out of every 100 people, including children and the elderly, at least 7 are members of a cooperative. And the total number of cooperatives in most countries continues to grow. But one thing we need to understand is we need to think beyond just cooperatives. Thinking cooperatives and thinking money to what I call cooperating around solutions. Cooperating around solutions. Through leveraging the framework of a Bafosa innovative volunteerism. Different non-state actors, including youth, including women agro value chain actors, amongst others, have been engaged and are leveraging on the spirit of cooperatives to finance innovative environmental climate action solutions. And these are solutions targeted at critical sectors such as the agro value chain, which is the largest source of livelihoods in the entire African continent. But at the same time, it is the most vulnerable to climate change. And by these, their actions are bringing Africa's climate actions, they're bridging Africa's climate action gap while unlocking socio-economic opportunities. But these cooperatives are taking on a very innovative angle, because cooperatives are not just about buildings. Cooperatives are not just about money alone, as we are sometimes made to understand. Rather than convene actors around money, we are convening actors around innovative environmental and climate action solutions that are critical to enabling value addition to unlock more opportunities to scale up the solutions, what we call cooperating for innovative environmental and climate action solutions. Did you hear that? Cooperating. For example, the menace of high post-harvest losses costing the continent each and every year $48 billion is proving an opportunity for agro value chain actors to be clustered and work communally in assessing a value addition solution, such as a solar dryer. Through this communal solar dryer, they are able, our mothers in villages are able to cut their post-harvest losses and increase their savings, and with these savings, they can use them for their other needs as they wish. This clustering around a solution, as opposed to money alone, diffuses the apprehensions associated with financial risk of loss of savings. But across the continent, this is not just abstraction. The realities are visible. From the west of Africa to the east of Africa and to the central part of Africa, the realities are visible. For example, in Uganda, one of the biggest cooperatives in the Buganda kingdom, called Pewosa, had been leveraged. And here, agro-value chain actors engage in diverse value chains are clustered into groups to communally assess an innovative climate action solution of a solar dryer. This cluster, agro-value chain actors get access to use the solar dryer as a service to dry their produce in the most safe and good quality way, and this has resulted in increased incomes by up to 30 times, enabling these farmers to save more and increase their investment in the cooperative. The example of Cameroon, where we are familiar with a similar action being undertaken through communal cooperatives called Njangi, where we are familiar with, is yielding similar impressive results. Let's face it, as we speak today, Cameroon, like many African countries, has an over 18 million gap a year climate action financing gap, a low emissions development called Africa-led project, where we guided and provided technical support to help Cameroon drive a low emissions development pathway through greening the entire Cameroon's agro-value chain, provided demonstrable results, which should be a benchmark to leverage on. In this project, one of the sites in Kolmangong, a group of 500 women cassava farmers in different Njangis were guided to pool their resources and work together, and they invested in a solar dryer as well as agroforestry techniques. Their use of the solar dryer enabled them to dry their cassava without compromising the quality for processing into flour. The solar dryer helped them cut collective post-harvest losses by over 30%. Isn't this interesting? These are not abstraction, these are realities. So leveraging on the spirit of Ebafosa innovative volunteerism in Cameroon and working with the country's Ebafosa Secretariat at the EAT, together in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and many other actors, up to 13 Jangis in 7 regions have been established. Up to 12 green cooperative communities have been created and are set to continue expansion across the entire country. These are just examples, and they're happening in other countries across the continent. So what's the point? You can see for yourself that we need to drive a bottom-up logic of financing action where everyone can be engaged regardless of their areas of training, especially in the critical areas of the agro-value chain. But for you to do that, because we always ask the question, who is doing what for me? Who is doing what for me? Here you are getting the information, so you must get to work and play your own part. The following are the key aspects that you can apply to leverage this bottom-up solutions that I mentioned through Njangis in Cameroon, for example, or in East Africa. They call it chamas. Different names, but the logic is the same. First, learn and perfect skilling in offering solutions in an area of need in the community. Did you hear that? Learn and perfect your skilling, your skills retooling. The second aspect is deliver this solution by working directly with the community. Many of us don't want to work with people, but markets are people, and you unlock this market with your solution, and you will earn this trust rapidly by co-creating value, co-creating solutions with the community so they own it. You got that? The third is you must save and invest in Njangi. This logic is driven through perfecting the perpetual cycle of saving and investing through the low-risk, affordable structure of cooperatives. And the fourth You cannot work alone and succeed. You cannot work alone and succeed. The biggest individual action is collective action. So as you perfect your skill, as you work with the community, get a team of willing youth to work with you. I use the word willing intentionally. You can only work with the willing and engage the community as co-creators of your solution to enhance ownership. And the fifth, start now with what you have. Don't complain, oh, I don't get money, I don't have money. No, those are excuses. As they say, tomorrow never comes. Do not delay even for a day. Set off immediately and start actioning on the ideas I've given. There is something for everybody. Do not be left out. Let us tap into these cooperatives for a truly climate resilient Africa. It is possible and you can do it. Start now.